Hello Twin Flames, this is Victoria and I'm here with your daily energy check. As promised, today the reading is going to be dedicated to some reason I have some thoughts in French. Who knows why? We'll find out. But welcome any listeners from France, from Canada, or another French speaking location. I know you're out there. I was getting some questions about getting subtitles in French. I haven't figured out how to do it yet, but maybe I will. So yeah, we have big things coming up tomorrow and the day after. And this reading in particular, I wanted to dedicate to tomorrow's big events. We have the 9/9 portal and we have the Mercury retrograde that is gonna last till the 2nd of October. So tomorrow meaning 9th of September, just for those who are watching outside of immediate timeline. This is, if you're watching outside of these events, it's still going to be relevant for you. It means there is a message here somewhere for your journey, for whatever questions you have. And by the way, with this reading as well, if you have specific intentions, things you want to know, something that's bothering you, where you need information or you have questions, please set that intention for yourself. That way it's likely the reading is going to be more beneficial to you when you're going in a more focused and conscious approach, right? Where you understand what is it that you want to get out of it. So yeah, we'll take a look. I'm gonna pull some oracle cards to see what are the themes, the topics that the twins are pointed to. Yeah, so we're obviously looking at Twin Flame Collective. Specifically, how these energies are going to be impacting, how is 9/9 portal significant, and I would say the 9, to me, in my mind, the vision that I'm getting, that 9/9 portal is like the mainstream, it's like the main hallway, right? It's like the grand hall, of Hogwarts. And then the Mercury retrograde is adding extra vibe to it, extra flavor. And of course, well, remember that Mercury retrograde is making communication somewhat challenging. We may be misinterpreting people. It may be hard for us to get our message across, literally or figuratively speaking. There could be more contention and argument, and even from technology perspective, technology could be going out of order. You may have all kinds of weird breakages or timeouts with software, with hardware, so just be ready for that and relax into it. Maybe rely a little bit less on technology during this time. If you have something super important, then have some plan B, plan C, how you're gonna communicate that to another person in case something goes wrong. It's like sometimes it's just as weird as like the person just tells you that they never got the message, and they can show you their messages like they just never got here, but you have it as delivered. The same with calls, or it could be like a complete outage, like somehow it just stopped working, or my computer died all of a sudden and the next day it started working again, something along those lines. Okay, yeah, so it's pushing us, these energies of the retrograde are pushing us within to focus on our internal communications, intentions, self-talk, the way we prep ourselves for communication with the world, right? So this is focusing on that, having quality time with yourself, communicating with yourself, and with your higher power, with the source, of course. If you have any important communications to do during this time, of course, it's better to avoid them, but it's life and anything can happen, and there are some things that we cannot postpone by a month. So in that case, just make sure that you're very grounded going into the conversation. You're open to hear what the other person has to say, and you're prepared to speak with love and compassion, with patience, with the intention to reach a consensus, right? So that way is going to be a productive conversation. If you start like going off into various like emotional states and swinging here and there and being reactive to what the person is trying to say, it's gonna go off rails for sure. Okay, so we are gonna ask the questions going back to the format of the reading. So I'm gonna start with oracle cards, and then I have the what is it? The Dream Keeper. Yeah, the Dream Keeper's tarot here, which I love to use for these kind of events. And we have the Light Seers tarot to clarify. We have the Angel Therapy cards with final guidance for each of the twins. With the tarot, I'm gonna be asking questions. What is it that we're learning? What is the positive impact? What is the opportunity during this? I'm gonna focus on the 9-9 portal, but we're all gonna be keeping Mercury retrograde in mind as something that is kind of happening on top of it. And pretty much for the whole time, right? Because the 9-9 portal is kind of considered, you know, from this weekend from the 9th till the next portal till 10/10. And the Mercury retrograde lasts almost the same, has almost the same duration from the 9th of September till the 2nd of October. So it's gonna accompany this portal energy throughout. So we'll see what that means, but I'm gonna focus and ask questions around the portal because this is the key event for the twin flame journey. This is one of the big ones. So the first question is gonna be on the positive impact and opportunities that we have to grow, to expand, to release something, right? Then the second question is going to be what could be the challenges that we need to overcome, and just to be mindful of that. And again, if it's something like communicating your truth, then at least you will have that extra nudge that yes, it is going to be challenging. It is like the weaker point at this moment, so maybe something important should be postponed till later. Important conversations and communications. And then finally, the last one is going to be, you know, the action that your twin flame is taking at this time. I'm not gonna do DFDM here just for this reading. I don't want to go I don't want for it to go too long, but whoever is watching, then you have that intention in mind, and you know, we will be talking about it's like a cross-watcher energy, right? About your counterpart, whether it's the masculine or the feminine. Okay, let's get started. Let's pull a card for Divine Feminine first. So this is the only part where I'm going to be differentiating between DM and DF. The energies are so much connected that we actually, because we're speaking of energy check anyway, the opportunities, the doors, they're going to be very similar for both of the twins. Even if they're going to look differently in 3D space, it's going to be, energetically, it's going to look very similar. So that's why I was guided to combine this into twin flame rather than differentiation between DF-DM. We have Unfinished Symphony for DF. It's a 10, yes. It's the end of a cycle, of a repeated cycle. So yeah, Divine Feminine will be looking at finally breaking free from some old cycle of neglect and abuse I'm getting for some reason. Maybe also because there are, you know, the girl here is actually by herself. But yeah, I just heard those words, some sort of cycle of neglect and abuse. And it could have started from the childhood, but it's possible that the cycles you're going through right now have to do with, not for example with your parents, but with a romantic partner, could be with a friend, with a colleague, with a boss. You know, it can be coming from any kind of social role, really. So it may look differently, but essentially you're still working through those cycles. For the masculines, we have Truth Be Told, number 14, and I love those little hearts in the middle. So this is the wisdom to see the love in certain situations, to be able to discern that blessings in disguise and things that don't look familiar but are still wonderful, they feel good. And maybe even it's not something that we consciously consider as our preference, but if it feels good, we should accept it as the act of love and the event of love. And this, in fact, actually, that's another point. This is there is a window here. This is giving Divine Masculines a window into their own energetic field of love and how they are sharing love with other people. and that it's a lot easier than they thought, so that they have plenty of love to share, that sort of idea. Like it will seem a lot easier for them to just to give of themselves in a healthy way, without depleting their own, or depleting, sorry, their own resources, but also having a lot, like it's, I'm getting this phrase, it's easy to make a day for someone, like to make a difference in someone's day, right? You don't need a lot of money, a lot of time, a lot of energy to be spent there, but it's important to be making those differences. So divine masculines will be inspired by the act of love towards them during this time. It's pretty cool. Okay, so what are the opportunities, the positive impact of the 9-9 portal this time for the twin flame journey? Let's see what we have. What are the opportunities for twin flames? I'll be pulling 3 cards for each. Queen of Swords, the Star, the Devil. Okay. The next question is, what could be the blockages? Eight of Cups, 4 of Swords, 5 of Pentacles. All right. And the next one is, what is the action that your twin flame is taking? 9 of Cups, the High Priestess, 9 of Wands. Interesting, the 9s. And this is the 9-9 portal, by the way. The Moon. And this is card number 18, which is a 9. And we have full moon in Pisces on Saturday, which is actually impacting the energy of the portal as well, because we're already in that energy, actually. If you follow me on Instagram, I posted a picture from 2 a.m. tonight when there was like this huge moon in the sky. It was beautiful, surrounding clouds against the big city. Yeah, it's there, pretty much it's there, right? It's not just that moment on Saturday that it's gonna be like, yep, we checked the box, now it's impacting us. No, it already started. So of course it's part of this. It's part of this portal energy for sure. Okay, let me pull some clarifiers. Please clarify Queen of Swords, the Star, and the Devil. I want clarification for each of these. Well, for all of them, but you know what I mean. 10 of Swords. Please clarify 8 of Cups, 4 of Swords, and 5 of Pentacles. Okay. 5 of Cups in reverse. We had that energy yesterday and a couple of days ago. Please clarify 9 of Cups, the High Priestess, and 9 of Wands. Okay. 9 of Swords and the Magician, another 9. All right. So, the opportunities. The opportunities, actually, I've already started talking about them, and we have the continuation of the topic about the ending cycle here. It's the end of a cycle of illusion. It's an end of a cycle of suffering. That's what I'm getting. Take it how it resonates for you, the listener, right? For you, twin flames. But what I'm getting is the opportunity to release some burdens connected with how you present yourself in your mission in public, how people view you. You had some burdens associated with other people's opinions, with how you want to move forward, with like unfolding who you are, your giftings, your plans. Also some burdens regarding speaking your truth out loud, you know, both to your like friends and family, and maybe even to the larger community that where you have a voice, using your voice. Yeah, it's another interpretation from the Queen of Swords, actually, because the swords are about communication, about the conversation, right? So there were some shortcuts, there were some coping mechanisms around, for example, like they're not, I'm getting that they're not precisely workarounds or shortcuts, but it actually was kind of, you were playing small, you're playing safe. Like, for example, if you're presenting yourself, you would only present what you want to do or who you are to like a small group of people who you kind of know will be your supporters. Or if you're going to the wider audience, you will present like maybe 20% of the truth and not everything. And not because you wanted to deceive anyone, but just because it's easier in your mind. It's easier for people to process the information this way, so that they're not too shocked and they're not too it's not too off-putting and shocking to them, and they can actually handle it better. So it's kind of like making it easier for people, but the question is it making it easier for you while you're waiting to unfold all of this in stages, in chapters, in, you know, acts of play almost. You know, okay, now this is act 1, so this is all we're gonna show in this one. Something along those lines. So there is a big opportunity to let go of those limitations, of those chains I even hear for some. Take it again, take it how it resonates. Maybe that has to do more with the addictions, where you felt like you were tied closely to them. Like that was the way to relieve your pain, your fear, and to be able to be to go an extra mile again. You know, like sometimes when we get overwhelmed or stressed out, we go into our escapes, and like, you know, you name it, any kind of addiction starting with alcohol and drugs and ending with shopping, eating, being on your phone for hours, just scrolling. I forgot what the word is for it. You know, it can be different, like even like OCD, where you have to clean everything. You know, it can have different faces to it, but the truth is it's still the escape mechanism. And there is a big time opportunity to let it go and leave it in the past. Maybe not 100%, but at least so that you feel like you have some options. It's not like you just immediately fall into it. Just free fall. No free fall anymore. That's what I'm getting. Okay, next we have the challenges. We have 8 of Cups, 4 of Swords, the 5 of Pentacles. This is the classic. I'm calling it the classic trio. And this is the 4th card, which is kind of also the classic, but it's showing me that during this time, you will see the consequences of maybe mistreating, misnourishing yourself, hanging on to things longer than you should have, where you're giving energy to something that is a waste, really, that is not serving you at all, where it was hard for you to find a good balance between work and rest and self-care. And of course the 5 of Pentacles actually around loneliness and financial issues. In this deck, I always see it as a connection with the divine, but it's kind of like the one-to-one connection that's emphasized here, in my opinion. So finding time for this one-to-one relationship, for building this relationship with the divine, with your guides, with your soul family. And that's how I'm gonna take it. So there used to be some stress and sadness about it, that because of all these things. And it may be challenging to forgive yourself, I'm hearing, and to move forward with like specific actions. Again, we're still in the Virgo season, and it's asking us to be pragmatic and to be specific. In order to gain this balance, you're supposed to set some boundaries in terms of how much your work takes, or whether people can reach you out of hours or not, or how much do you have to do yourself versus delegating to someone else? How many hours of sleep do you give yourself as a must, right? Those kind of things, like very specific things, not like general, oh yeah, I'll have self-care on Sunday, and then you only do it once a month. No, that's not a good plan. It's like specifically, okay, on Sunday I'm gonna do XYZ. On Wednesday I'm gonna do ABC, right? What does that self-care mean to you? And healthy, I don't want to say life-work balance, because I'm getting it's a lot more about work and rest, right? And work could be like a job, it could be a career as a light worker, it could be many different things, maybe even taking care of the like household of your housewife, right? That could be that as well. But this is the that versus taking care of yourself and you know, doing something out of self-love. Finally, the steps that your twin flame is taken, we have 9 of Cups, the High Priestess, and 9 of Wands, clarified by 9 of Swords and the Magician. So guess what? Your twin flame is ready to manifest something ambitious, something that they're scared of themselves. They are a little scared of dreaming about it, of believing that it can be possible in reality with them in this lifetime, but they're at the point where they are actively moving forward with that manifestation. Doesn't mean that it's gonna all happen tomorrow or a week from now, but the twins are setting very specific intentions here. And yes, some of it is connected with, because it's also on the edge of the full moon peak, a lot of it is about letting go of fear. And the 9s, and that's why we see a lot of 9s here, and it's 9-9 portal, are about that completion. It's like you're one step away from completion, almost #almost there, right? But it's not a very healthy energy. Maybe apart from 9 of Pentacles card, which is not here anyway. For the most part, 9s are telling us that there's still some uneasiness, you know, restlessness that is preventing you from reaching your goal. And that's why your twin is recognizing that's the case, and that they need to get some intuitive guidance and move forward with it. That feeling of uneasiness is not just going to disappear by itself, but as you move in alignment with the divine plan and you're following the guidance, as much as it can be scary, overwhelming, and unbelievable, you know, you should take it one day at a time, one step at a time. Again, the Virgo way, right? That's a hint, a huge hint for you. And you don't need other people here. Again, 9s are about you're kind of by yourself in this story, right? It's up to you to release your fears. Nobody can do it for you, not really. They can give you some advice, they can guide you to a certain degree, but they cannot cut them off for you. You're supposed to cut your fears off, well, not even cut, but transmute and release your fears and your trauma by yourself. And yes, it's hard to start from big ones, so take the little ones, take those that are more on the surface that you feel like you can handle. If you need help, ask for help. We see High Priestess, we see the Magician here. This could be people who have a lot more experience in this, who have wisdom, who have dealt with it themselves, and they can help you out with those patterns that you have trouble dropping. But progress is super important. That's the goal, that's the name of the game. And that's why your twin is pushed towards looking at things differently and acting differently that they used to, for the sake of this progress, of this improvement, even if we don't really understand yet what that milestone is going to be like. And I don't mean like the end goal, but like even this next milestone that we are doing this for. But it will be important, and that's what we get very clearly in the energies here. I wanted to say something else about cutting off the fears. Yeah, it's about setting boundaries too, especially with this 9 of Wands. And again, this card is a little different from the usual artwork for 9 of Wands. But it's important to feel good about yourself and what you do when you are like in this sort of environment where you feel like you're by yourself and in the spotlight, right? And there is distance from other people, and maybe even like in this case some like actual physical barrier between you and other people that doesn't allow you to do this as a team, let's put it that way, right? But this means this is a solo mission, and you should feel comfortable following it and having those one-to-ones with your higher power And moving forward, no matter if your trusted companions go with you or not, or maybe they had their reasons not to go on this particular journey. And it's understanding that it was necessary for you to believe in yourself, for you to let go of final fear, to be able to cover this leg of the journey by yourself. Okay, and become the true super attractor and super manifester. Final note from the Angel Therapy, card of guidance for Divine Feminine. First of all, what is the guidance for this 9/9 portal? Be willing to forgive. And that's exactly what I was talking about. The start was yourself. Pretty please. Ask the angels to clear your mind and body of past pain in exchange for peacefulness. Yes. Not gonna add much else. I've just spoken on this topic. So yeah, this is just a confirmation. And ask angels. Remember that you have your guides, you have your helpers. If you're struggling to do it yourself, you can ask them for help. What do we have for the masculine? 2 cards. Workshops and seminars and heart chakra. Always good topics. Attending and giving speeches is part of your spiritual path and purpose. Be open to teaching and learning. I, for one, know that my divine masculine is going to be teaching a workshop tomorrow. So, you know, sometimes it's very figurative, sometimes it's very direct. But in jokes aside, and I mean, it wasn't a joke, it was the truth, but I mean, it doesn't have to be obviously like teaching a class of people, right? But it's passing on your knowledge to someone else. It's speaking out, at least sharing your position. It can start from like a social network post and go up to like spending time with friends and family and sharing with them. It's teaching someone next to you, maybe even your neighbor, some skill that you have, right? Maybe volunteering somewhere, and maybe actually teaching a course, who knows? But this is gonna be like, this is gonna have extra power. And I'm also getting that for the masculines, it's also gonna open them up for like to this new joy of sharing knowledge, that like new level of satisfaction from this teaching and learning process. And when you teach, you learn, right? That's the ancient wisdom. Another one is heart chakra. The answer that you seek is in your heart right now. Be open to giving and receiving love. I've also saw that in the reading, so I'm just gonna leave it there. And yeah, masculines, I'm sure you know what this is about. And whatever ways you have to work on your heart chakra opening, to go within, to meditate, to connect with your heart chakra, to do any kind of cleansing and inner child work, any and all of it is going to be super beneficial and super efficient during this time, because this is a time of opening our gifts on a new level. And the more open your heart chakra is, the more of a receiver you're going to be of those new downloads, that new information, and those new giftings. Maybe they're not new, but this is when you will be learning about them. Okay, I hope this has been good for you guys. Thank you so much for joining me today. I love you all, and I'll be back with more readings very, very soon. Bye, everyone.